around since ancient times. From Rome to India, each style was new and unique to their culture, whether they were used for promoting political views, entertainment, or self-expression. The reasons we make cartoons today haven't changed much. Here at the top, we see a picture of a Roman cartoon featuring a popular mythical creature, a pygmy, and below is a Hindu cartoon, often used for religious purposes. Let's look at how it was done in Rome in particular. Roman cartoons varied in styles like we see today. Many of them were made from normal people like you and me. They often used cartoons for politics and entertainment. They drew a plethora of characters that can be seen in other cultures as well, just like we have today. Entertainment cartoons in Rome. Artists tend to indulge in whimsical ideas. We see this through their use of anthropomorphic animals and mythical creatures. Whimsical designs affected their costumes and plays. We see this throughout all their culture. This art style kind of affected everything that they made. And we can see a picture here that displays this called a grasshopper riding a chariot. Political cartoons in Rome. Though they had mostly entertainment-based cartoons, there were some political cartoons. They were controversial, not unlike today, with topics such as religion and politics. They were often made for self-expression, not for persuasion, and they showcased the people's views. Here we see a picture of a cartoon from Pompeii. It was on a private property, and this depicts Nero persecuting the pugnacious men of Pompeii at the time. Back to the future. We saw what cartoons looked like back when they had varied styles and topics. Now let's look at what goes into a cartoon in the modern day. I've learned all about character design, posing, colors, and anatomy. I then tried my hand at making a comic on my own. And though I have a lot to learn, let me tell you, it was fun. Character design. There are so many things that go into creating a character, but here are some of the basics that most cartoonists use. Here you can see a picture of Calvin and Hobbes. The artist Bill Watterson was great at creating memorable characters, as we still recognize his characters today. The shapes. This is really important in cartooning. Usually when cartoonists draw a character, they draw a shape to match their personality. Squares are strong, mature, and stable characters, like we see Platypus up here. Circles are friendly, bubbly, kind-hearted characters, like Winnie the Pooh, and triangles are cynical, dangerous, and quick-witted, like Bill Cipher here. This isn't a be-all, end-all rule, but it's good to keep in mind when creating characters. For the purpose of this project, I use these designs in my characters. Clothing and accessories. You know, having a simple design when it comes to clothing actually goes a long way, and overcomplicating a design is actually a big problem. Things such as, if it's formal, they're a classy character, can help the reader infer what the character's like. Some important things to remember when creating clothing are the time period the character is in, the climate or setting, their age, species, gender, culture, and social class. Here we see a picture of Judy Hopps. I like her character design because we can tell her profession, and it's tailored to fit her design. Colors. This is extremely important, especially in illustration. Some important terms are the hue, saturation, and tint. Hue meaning what color is what, saturation how intense it is, and tint and shade is how light or dark it is. We also learn things like color schemes, such as a monochrome color scheme, which is just one color for the entire illustration, or an analog color scheme, which is when two colors fall next to each other. So, some colors actually invoke a certain feeling in people. This is a biological thing, such as passion and danger is associated with red, or calm and wisdom is associated with power, with blue. And you can see as a red stop sign shows that there's danger, you need to stop your car. Anatomy and posing. Though in cartoons, things tend to be exaggerated a lot, it's important to know the basic anatomy. Using reference pictures is a really good thing to use, and especially when you're drawing guidelines to creating a character. Also, what's important is making good dynamic poses. A good way to do this is pushing the character's hips and chest away from each other. Another thing that a lot of cartoonists use is something called a line of action, which is you draw a line and create the character around it to show the way you want it to move. And now, Knowing all this, here's my comic title, Pouring Rain. While you're reading, pause the video and see if you can identify some of the things I talked about earlier. Here you go. Alright, that's the end of my presentation. I hope you learned a lot. And like they say in a very popular cartoon, that's all folks. Have a good day. Julia Acker.